it's Ndivisi and welcome back to my channel. This video was so highly requested on my how to get over somebody you never dated video, which if you haven't seen it, I'll link it here. So many of you commented, what do I do if I see this person every day? That is a bit trickier to get over. Maybe you told them how you feel and they don't feel the same way. Maybe they have a significant other, so that's why you guys can't be together. Maybe it's a teacher or a coworker that you have a crush on and you think it would be inappropriate for you guys to date. Either way, you have a crush on someone that you have to see every day. So here are my tips that you can move on faster than Miley got over Liam.
The tea is exceptionally good today.
Liam, if you're watching this, my DMs are open. Okay, so step number one, become friends with them. Now that may sound a little backwards, but a lot of times when we have a crush, you don't really know the person. Everyone is presenting the best version of themselves when they're out in public, when they're in class, when they're at work. So if you really got to know them, you might find you're actually not that into them. I've had this happen before where I had such a big crush on this guy that I worked with at an old job. And I actually got to know him better through working on some different projects and things together. Once I did that, okay, the attraction, that dried up real quick, okay? So sometimes that can actually really help because we have created such a fantasy of who this person is in our head. And let me tell you a secret, it's not real. Okay, so number two, look at the reality of the situation. Does this person really have the qualities you would want in a significant other? Are you projecting these things onto them and creating them into be someone that they literally are not? I mean, you have to be honest with yourself. Are you being kind of delusional? Yes, you may think you're soulmates, but you're watching this video, aren't you? Some of y'all, I know you're guilty of this, reading into everything that they do. Some dude will look at you and you're already planning what you're gonna name your children, okay? Yes, he looked at you because you're stalking him and he has eyes and he needs to look somewhere and you're literally standing in front of him, so where else is he supposed to look? He's not trying to send you secret messages he's in love with you. He might be trying to send you a message to like give him some space before he puts a restraining order on you, but he's probably not sending you mixed signals. He's probably only sending you one signal, and clearly you're not catching that on your radio frequency. Maybe this person does have amazing qualities, but you can't tell me that out of the 7 billion people on this earth, okay? 7 billion. That you can't find someone else with those same qualities that's interested in you. I can guarantee you there are other people that can meet those needs and that you would have a connection with, that you could be together with because they're not a dude in class who doesn't know you exist. There is someone with those qualities and even more, someone that ticks even more boxes than this person does, that's gonna wanna be with you. Next, accept that it's over. Typically, if it's a crush, you're not in the talking stage, you're not flirting, you're not going out on dates. It's just like, it's very one-sided, okay? You're being a little stalkerish, you're probably like Joe from You. You're here staring at the back of their head in class. You just need to accept that it's that little fantasy relationship that you had where in your head you two were soulmates, you had this amazing wedding. Oh my God, the cake was really good at the wedding, okay? The DJ was popping.
Does that sound like something you want?
Yes.
Well, let me tell you, you'll never get it.
I don't want to be the one to tell you this, but that didn't happen. The sooner you can accept that, the sooner you can move on. You have to stop lying to yourself that there's a chance it'll ever happen. And you have to stop being afraid to lose something you never had. Let go of the idea that this will ever turn into a relationship down the road, because if you hold on to that, you'll never truly get over it. Now that we have accepted it's never going to be, we can mourn. Now this may seem weird, but I really do think even if you didn't have a relationship with someone, even if that relationship was 100% in your head, it's still a loss, right? Because you had all these ideas and you spent so much time fantasizing what this was gonna be like when you two got together. And now you're finally like, okay, gotta hang that up on the shelf, and you have to mourn it. Acknowledge it, sit with those feelings, don't try and avoid them because that's not really processing them, and you're gonna end up 6 months later having to deal with those feelings because you didn't deal with them now. And I think it's important to remember that you're human. Yes, society and your friends may tell you you're being pathetic or dramatic because you're taking time to mourn something that wasn't a reality, but it was still really real for you. And that's okay. That's totally normal. It's important to take that time to mourn. If you feel comfortable enough or you have a good support system, talk to your friends, talk to your family. If you don't have anyone to talk to, you guys can always DM me. I love talking to you guys. I may be slow to it, but I do answer all my DMs. Unless you're creepy, then I don't answer those. But make sure you do take that time. If it's just one night, if it's a weekend, if it's a week, take that time, mourn, but then move on. Okay, next, force yourself to stop thinking about them. Now, I always used to think this was one of the hardest things. And you may be sitting there like, Catherine, I can't not think about them. They're all I think about. And yes, you can't control that initial thought where they pop into your head, but you can control where your thoughts go from there.
Wow, the land of make-believe.
Are you gonna go to La La Land or are you gonna stay in reality? The choice is yours. It's really that simple. If you want to continue to keep sabotaging yourself or move on. Stop listening to depressing playlists. Stop watching rom-coms that are not realistic at all. Okay, those movies are actually awful to watch when you're trying to get over someone. I get it. It is difficult because your brain pretty much treats crushes and relationships and things like that like addiction. So it makes sense that you're constantly playing it over and over in your head. It's like you're addicted to that person. Like their love is your drug, okay? Kesha wasn't lying. But again, be strong, be disciplined, have control, and redirect those thoughts. Also, I'm not like a professional, so all of this advice is just me sharing things that I think might work. So yeah, if you really are struggling, get professional help. I'm not a professional. I know I look like it, but I'm not. One thing that really helped me in trying to reframe my thoughts and redirect things was kind of coming up with an alter ego. So you think of Josh and you used to think of all these amazing things of him, right? But create an alter ego for him, because if you really don't know that much about him, again, like we said, you've created this fantasy version of him. So create another fantasy version of him that's not great. He's got bad breath. He's kind of a jerk. He's late to everything. He might rob banks on the weekends.
Everybody, stay calm. This is a robbery.
I don't know. So create this version of him that just sucks. So whenever you think of him, go to that alter ego and focus more on all the awful things, even if you have to make them up, so that next time you see him, you're like, damn, why you be robbing banks on the weekend? Like, that's not cool. And you're not gonna be as attracted to him. Unless you're into guys who rob banks, in which case, that's a whole nother issue. I don't know how to help you with that. Definitely seek help. Okay, my next tip is cut off or minimize communication. This is really hard, right? Because you're seeing the person every single day. They are like gum. They will not go away. Who knew I could spit bars? It's new to me too. If you do not have to speak to him or her, don't speak to them. I swear, some of you guys make this way harder for yourself than it needs to be. Just don't do it, okay? Do you want to move on or not? Stop trying to run into them in the hallway. Stop trying to run into them by the water fountain like, oh, you're going to the library? I just happen to be going to the library too. No, none of that. If you can change your seat in class, do that. If you can drop out of school, do that. But if it's a coworker or something, change your shift. Quit your job. Totally kidding. Please don't do that. But really, I think we lie to ourselves sometimes and we're like, no, I love hockey and I'm gonna go to that hockey game because I just go hockey. I love pucks. It's like, no, we know you just want to run into Corey. That's the only reason you're going, when we're not stupid. If you had a crush on this person, you probably know their daily schedule, especially if it's someone you see every day. And you used to alter your life so that you could accidentally run into them. Okay, so now we're gonna do the opposite. You are going to actively avoid them. And here's the kicker. Stop stalking them on social. I'm not gonna tell you need to block them, because if it is someone you see every day, like a coworker or a classmate, or you're like kind of in the same friend group, that might be hella awkward, okay? But you can mute their account so that they don't show up in your newsfeed, and you can make it so they don't see your Instagram story, so they're not constantly replying to things. They don't need to be knowing your every move, and you don't need to be knowing their every move. It's literally that simple. Mute them. I'm sorry. No.
meet them.
Another thing too, if you are going to run into them, I mean, you're going to see them every day. Yes, you should be actively trying to avoid them, but chances are you're going to run into them. You're going to have to see them. Be prepared. Have a script, some kind of thing that you're going to say in the event that you do run into them, so you're not hella awkward and stuttering over your words and you're sweating and you pass out from an anxiety attack, okay? Avoid them when you can, but prepare for when you can't. If you do have to talk to them, keep conversations very light. Don't get personal. Keep it cordial. Don't be a bitch, okay? Be nice to them, but just take a few steps back. You don't need to be in their green beans like you used to, okay? And do not, under any circumstances, try to make them jealous. It is obvious. You look desperate. We don't need you out in these streets looking crazy, okay? Because I taught you better than that. Okay, this one is really important. Take part in constructive activities that will keep you away from that person and distracted from them. I would really encourage you to make it an activity that adds more value to yourself, whether that is picking up piano again or learning how to write a song or do poetry. If you're not a very creative person, get more involved in sports, join a club, pick up a part-time job. Everyone has things that, oh, I wish I had more time for that. Okay, well, now you're not obsessing over Joe Schmo, so you can pick up that activity you've always wanted to do. All of these things are going to distract you from those feelings, and it shouldn't be the end goal to like meet someone new or find a new crush, because I hate when people say that. Like, yes, it will work. Like if you're trying to get over Ryan, having a crush on Chris is probably gonna help that, but is it really the healthiest route? No. So I don't really encourage that. I think you just need to get out there and get involved in a club or activity or something, and chances are you're gonna meet new people through that, because I don't know what activity you go out and do and you're just by yourself. Like, you're gonna meet other people, and maybe that's where the person that you're supposed to meet is gonna be, but you wouldn't know that because you're sitting at home watching this video. Which, like, don't click off of it yet. Like, wait until this video is done and then go out and do that activity. Please and thank you. So it's really important when you're going through a decrush. Is that a word? I don't know. When you're going through the decrushing phase, it's important that you don't forget your worth. It is not a reflection of you that this person cannot or does not want to be with you. And really, them not wanting you is the start of you wanting yourself. When someone doesn't love you, it doesn't mean that you're incapable of being loved. It just means you haven't found the right person yet. I mean, look at Sharpay. She wanted Troy. She's doing great now, okay? I don't know, I haven't talked to her, but I'm sure she's doing great. Write down a list of all the amazing things about you, even if you have to ask friends, hey, what are your 5 favorite things about me? Write those down and read them constantly. Whatever you need to do to constantly remind yourself you are worthy, and you will find someone. All right, so our last tip for the video. Remember that you are not alone and that these feelings are temporary. Literally, every human being has had a crush on someone that didn't feel the same way, or had a crush on someone that they could never be together. That's life. It's especially high school. High school is just, I don't even know why they call it high school. It should really just be called having a crush on someone who doesn't know you exist and obsessing over it every day, and it never turns into anything. What I'm trying to say is it's completely normal. Everyone goes through it, okay? You feel like you're dying in the midst of it, but one day you'll wake up and you don't have feelings for that person anymore. And you know what? You survived it. Getting over someone, especially someone you have to see every day, is insanely hard. Okay, it takes discipline, you choosing yourself over them. It takes you choosing your happiness, you having faith that there's something better coming for you. I know it's really hard to turn the page. I mean, right now you're reading that book, right? You're like, oh, this book of Brad is just so thrilling and I just love it. Okay, but what we need to do is turn the page, okay? Brad is done with. You have no idea what's waiting for you. Really blocking your blessings. Why are you scared to lose something you don't have when something amazing that you could have could be waiting on the next page? It's time to turn the page. All right, guys, that is it for today's video. I'm sending you all a big hug. I know you can do this. I know it's hard, but I believe in you. You just have to believe in yourself that you can get over this person. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you are not following me on Instagram already, honey, what is you doing? Go do that now, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. I mean, I basically just gave you a free therapy session, so I think it's the least you could do. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.